Hey guys, I thought I would do another week of progress, or rather another stage of progress. So this is a double page spread. I stretched it today and I've started toning it, and every day I'm going to check in with progress on this spread. And this spread is part of the epilogue of chapter 7 of 7-inch Kara. And if you'd like to see from start to finish the entire progress of a spread, not this one, but one from chapter 6, you can click here to check out that video. It's kind of a tutorial video. What I'm doing here is just checking in with you guys with progress. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, so I am checking in with a little bit of progress. I went ahead and did some toning. So these are just all over tones, and then I used a paper towel to sort of lift out the faces so they wouldn't be as dark. I am then going to go in with a wash of the same color, and that would be Holbein Neutral Tint. I was having a lot of trouble on the other two pages with the neutral tint that I'd mixed lifting off, or lifting up and remixing, leaving muddy colors. So I've used the Holbein Neutral Tint in the past, and I've had really good results with using it for these sort of night scenes, so hopefully I won't have this issue anymore. But I am going to go through and tone individual areas and individual sections. So I went ahead and toned this spread, and I pretty much just used a lot of the neutral tint watered down to do some toning. I was distracted at the time, so I did kind of make a mistake. You see how their faces are a little bit lighter and there's more room for cast lighting on the right hand side? Well, you guys can see that I didn't leave quite that much room on the right hand or the left hand side. So I'm hoping that when I paint it I can kind of compensate for that. But I was not giving it my 110%, and unfortunately I messed up. So this is a little bit different from how I handled these pages. These are pages that came prior, and I was just really disappointed that I couldn't get the depth of color that I wanted. So I decided on this spread to spend more time building up color beforehand and doing undertoning. And hopefully I can establish some of the contrast that I'm looking to achieve here. So I went ahead and I did sort of the first tone, or first layer, I guess, blocking in the background, and it's just not going to be like this. It's not dark enough, so I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to go back and tone the background even more because I really want to emphasize sort of planar differences between the ceiling and the two back walls, and I also want the room to be believably dark enough. I've finally gotten to a point where I think the toning is actually dark enough. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to let this dry overnight. Hopefully then the colors will be less likely to lift up and reactivate. And I'm going to start in again on it tomorrow. You guys can kind of see where I started toning the walls. And I really do like the monochromatic look. That is an option. In fact, your eyes usually see things in like shades of gray, shades of monochrome when it's this dark. But I do have this candle light source to keep in mind. So hopefully it will turn out well. Not that these pages are terrible, but hopefully they'll turn out a little bit better than these pages, because the whole point of doing a project, well, no, not the whole point, but one of the benefits of doing a project like this is that you're always learning and you're always figuring out where you're making mistakes and where you can make improvements. So, you know, hopefully we can make a step forward. Hey guys, so it is the morning of the third day. Last night I went to go see a movie, and when I got back I ended up doing a lot of work on the floor here, doing some wet into wet painting techniques in order to establish a glow. And I have started increasing the saturation and color on the walls in the background. And when I finish that, I can finally start blocking in the foreground figures. So a few more layers later, you guys can see that I've been able to develop, I think, good tonal contrast between the floor, the walls, and the ceiling. And I also went ahead and painted in shadows. Now, shadows are always hard for me, and I feel like there's something that they are something that should be kind of planned when you're doing the roughs, because you should be doing them in perspective. So those shadows are totally fudged. They are not realistic, and they should be much smaller, but I kind of freehanded them in because with the cast lighting in from the candle, you would get shadows on the wall. So as long as it feels believable enough to the reader, it doesn't have to be perfect, although I think having them a little bit more distanced from the figures themselves would have helped a lot. So now I am developing the big pink bricks that are in Kara's mom's kitchen. And those are used as counters and as part of the oven and serve kind of as heat sinks to not only help keep the room warm, but also act as an actual heat sink. So when you put hot objects on the cooler brick that isn't attached to the oven, it can help cool things down a little faster. Day's not over yet, but I'm checking in with some more progress. I've started to block in some of the colors and even develop some of the colors, like on the bricks, to make sure that they are dark enough. I need to go a little darker, I think. Well, maybe not, because they're actually kind of like an orangey pink in regular lighting, so maybe this is the correct tone for them. But I'm just going to continue to block in and develop colors. Alright, so I've had a chance to do a little bit more development on this. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And I'm really happy with how the progress is going. I'm going to let the skin tone evaporate and intensify a little bit overnight, and that way I can get some greater differences in the layers. But I like how I'm getting an evening or a nighttime lighting effect that's much more believable than I think these pages are. These pages aren't bad, but this is more of the look that I was going for. So I am happy with it so far, and I feel like I did indeed, or I am indeed learning from the prior pages. So that is always good. That's always something I'm striving for. And I do still plan on, I'd like to get Kara's shirt and Meldina's dress painted in tonight. Maybe not finished, but at least the first layer put in. So I'm not done for the evening, but I did want to check in with this progress. So I think I'm just about done painting for tonight. As you can see, it's a masterpiece in cute and gray and soft. Also about done with this for tonight. Like I said, I was able to get the clothing blocked in. Tomorrow I'm going to do some more layers on their skin after the skin tones had a chance to evaporate a bit. Able to do a little more detail on the candle. All in all, I'm pretty satisfied with the progress, and I'm definitely satisfied with the effect. Again, especially compared to the past pages, which weren't bad, but these are so far more effective in conveying the kind of lighting that I wanted. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, so another day, another recording. I already went and did another layer of sort of evaporated, more saturated skin tone. I want it to be a little bit darker than that, working on building up contrast and trying to avoid muddiness, which can be hard with some of these darker scenes. But like I said, I am pretty happy with the progress so far and look forward to continuing to make progress. And I'm really happy with how the glass jar is turning out. It's very simple, but it reads as glass, which is nice. Checking in again for this evening. It looks, at least I feel like it looks like I've made a lot of progress, and I have. Gotten more things filled in, started tightening up the details on things now that everything has kind of a base coat to it at least. And I've started trying to work the skin a little bit more, mixing up a red-violet shadow tone. I'm going to go over it again with the skin tone, and then, well, I mean, I still need to do the blushing as well. And then probably add in some accents of the dark blue. And then I can start painting the hair. And the reason I wait for that is I use really watered down glazes on the skin, and I don't want that to activate the hair because I use like sort of opaque colors like Venetian red, and then I go over it with Van Dyke brown and then sepia. So I try to save those sort of heavy mixes for the very end when I'm tightening up details. So I think this is just about it for today. I have a feeling I'm going to be able to finish this by tomorrow, really tighten up some of the details. So I'm actually pretty pleased with the contrast in this, and the fact that it was easier, or I was more effective at conveying the setting is nice too. So I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow on hopefully our final day on this double page spread. Good morning. It is the 5th day, and for some reason I am actually awake right now, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get started with my page. Checking in with a little bit of paint on the page. Not done, of course, but this is sort of the stage where everything starts really coming together since I start adding details, so I thought it would be fun to kind of show you guys a little bit more step by step how it comes together. I'm about to start one of the final stages for watercolor painting, and for me that's adding the white highlights and white details, and I'm going to use some white gouache or Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White, and I'm also going to use a white watercolor pencil. Well, technically it's a Derwent Inktense pencil. So I just wanted to show you guys where we were at before I did that. This page is just about finished. I'm just letting the paint finish drying, and then I'm going to remove the blue tape, and these pages will be ready to be put away. So this page, or rather these pages, are finished. The blue tape has been removed, and I am really happy that they're done. I'm pretty pleased with the end result, and I hope you guys enjoyed this week-long tour for this double page spread. And I hope you guys will check out my Watercolor Basics series and my Intro to Comic Craft series, both here on the channel and over on my blog. This spread is from the epilogue of Chapter 7 of 7-Inch Kara, and you can read 7-Inch Kara at 7inchkara.com or 7inchkara.tumblr.com. It updates every Friday, and it is a beautiful watercolor family-friendly adventure. So if you have any kids who like comics or know any young people who like comics, feel free to share it with them as well. It is completely safe. So thank you guys again for hanging out with me, and thank you for allowing me to share something I love to do with you guys. I hope to see you again really soon. Bye guys!